Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Stream of Thoughts. Today, in this episode, we have invited a career coach and a speaker. We will try to understand how immigrants can overcome barriers faced by them in Finnish job market. Today, our guest is Isa. Isa, we welcome you to our podcast, and we're very happy to have you at our podcast. Um, let's start with a little bit of your introduction.
Okay, thank you, Hassan. Nice to be here with you, and glad to be with all your listeners as well. My name is Esa, and I work as a career coach, career counselor, teacher, speaker, and such. Currently, my day job is at Laurea, beside which I also do some other projects. I've been working in this field for maybe 5 years or so, before which I was doing completely different things. So if there are any career changers listening, I am with all of you. I am a career changer myself, and my heart is pumping for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. It's good to know, and thank you so much. It's always, a kind of appreciating thing for me if someone says that they are listening to the podcast, and this podcast is what I'm trying to do to help immigrants because I have been living in Finland for 11 years now, and I have been through the same journey. So I want to help my fellow immigrants who are coming and try to invite the guests who can could be helpful. And you are one of the guests that could be helpful for our listeners. So once again, thank you. And Finnish job market, first of all, language barrier, and then because of inflation and everything going around and instability in the job market, there are lots of, when it comes to foreigners or immigrants, move to Finland for living, kind of a Finnish dream, a stable job, good quality of life. They face many difficulties. But I would like to, because you are a native Finn, and I would like to understand from your perspective, what do you think are the barriers faced by immigrants in the job market? And are people aware of the barriers faced by immigrants in the job market?
Um, Thank you. That's a very good question, and maybe the two most popular barriers that I hear from my clients are the language and networks, um, which probably networks especially also is something that Finnish people would benefit a lot about. Um, so yeah, those are probably the two most common barriers. Um, from the point of view of a native Finn, mm, I don't really know if I can answer that um, because I meet a lot of international people, and this is what I hear from them: the networks and the language.
Mm,
Um, but there's definitely a gap between Finnish working life and international talent. Um, and let's say, I don't know if this is a good word, but the blame is often put to the job seekers, while big changes should be done in the organizations. They should learn how to hire international talent, how to survive your working life with people whose Finnish is not perfect,
mm,
uh, because a lot of jobs don't need perfect Finnish. Um, because anyway, if well, my English and your English are not perfect either. Still, we both work in this language.
mm,
So organizations and employers should stop and look at themselves and understand where how they could hire international talent better. But these two barriers, networking and language, Of course, language takes a lot of time to learn, and every bit helps. Getting to that B2 level that is often the requirement, or even C1. Um, it takes time and it takes effort, and it's not easy. I've seen that in people close to me trying to learn the language, and it is difficult. It needs time. On the other hand, networks, if that is something that you as an international job seeker um, find to be your barrier, I have one tip for that. Start building networks.
Mm.
It's quite simple as that. If you have a barrier, whatever barrier that is, start working to overcome it. Maybe first, also make sure that it is a real barrier and not uh, uh, an invented one. But probably networks, they will help you. If you build networks in Finland with other internationals, with native Finnish locals, anyone, it always helps.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. When, for example, a person has come from another country to Finland for higher education, they have done their masters. Now is the time when they are looking for a sport to get involved in the job market. And as you said, that there are two most, well-known struggles that are faced by immigrants: language, and also lack of networking. But networking in itself, because all of my guests, they say that most of the jobs in Finland are secret jobs, and if you have good network, you can get a job. Uh, so how to establish, for example, just imagine a person who is new in the country, have spent just 2 years to get a master's degree, and then people are saying them to start networking. How to start networking? A
yeah,
very practical approach. People say just start networking. How to start networking and with whom?
yeah, yeah. Uh, well, if I start with the question of with whom to network, anyone, mm, to begin with. Um, I think the biggest barrier in networking is that you are trying to calculate who is the person I should network with, and also the word network is also a barrier. Um, Maybe it's better to talk about, instead of networking with professionals, maybe it is talking with people, being open about your situation, and maybe the best thing would be trying to help other people, and remembering that other people also want to help you, but they need to know how to help. And that's when we get back to the question of, um, you being open about your situation.
Mhm.
That's also how you find these hidden jobs. Someone hears about something and happens to know that you need this. You were just asking about this position, and then uh, they can tell you about it. And these people can be anyone from your football team, from dog park, from your kids' daycare, anyone. Just normal chatting, mm, with people about your situation, about their situation as well. How can you help? And what would be the help that you want?
Mhm.
Um, and I think, like a good way of thinking about this is that any encounter with another person can lead to something great, something good, but it probably won't. If you go out and you talk to a person, I need this is important to me, probably nothing happens, right? We've
Right.
all been
Yeah.
there. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
But you keep doing that. You keep being open. Meanwhile, you're learning about yourself, you're learning about other people, you're learning how you could help them, and you're giving yourself opportunities. to get lucky, because that's what it is. Almost any job, especially in difficult job market situation, it's about luck, and you need to expose yourself to the opportunities to be lucky, especially in hidden jobs. Um, I have a silly example on how you can do that. If you have a company in your mind, you want to work in this organization, you know where it is, why not go for a lunch next to it? Because the workers from that organization probably go there and you might hear something. Again, probably you won't. Probably nothing happens. But it is exposing yourself to opportunities to be lucky. And the more opportunities you create, the more likely one of them will be the overnight success story.
Oh, great, great. So, yeah, and some one of my guests that came in my podcast, they said that f- like university, when immigrants are mostly exposed to the university environment because they come for usually for getting a higher degree, um, and university is like a bubble. University life is like a bubble. You're not exposed to the real Finnish market or people, to the local people of Finland. And when you're living in university life, you're interacting with Finnish people who speak English, who work with internationals. So they are quite used to. So it's just like an international environment. And as soon as your degree ends, when the bubble bursts and then you get to the real market, then you get to face the real challenges. um, as a person, as a career coach, you have been working with many clients. Do you think that universities are providing enough career support to people who want to stay in Finland and who want to work in Finland after finishing their studies?
Um, Definitely, I think that um, there is pretty good amount of career counseling, career coaching available for students. Um, but maybe the problem, the issue is somewhere else. As I mentioned before, for that organizations should be helped. The same is here. If I help one student to get a job, mm, it will not solve any problems. Someone would have uh, got that job anyway. Of course, it's a huge impact on that individual, but on a systemic level, it doesn't make a difference. So the best help that we could provide as a country is to work towards creating better opportunities for more jobs, and that, of course, it's easy to say that, uh, but that's where the problems are, I think. Um, in universities, we can of course do more, mm, and we are doing more than one-to-one counseling with students. We are building connections to the working life, and the students get real work-life connections, not only from traineeships or internships, but also we are creating like work-life cases. For example, in marketing, you might go as a team to make a marketing plan to a real organization, and this happens in universities of applied sciences a lot. Um, but we are also uh, we have recognized, of course, this problem of international students living in a bubble during the studies. And we are currently trying to find ways how we can expand or burst that bubble to help them network and just find people, local people to hang out, because it is like on both sides. The local people wish to network more with the internationals, and the internationals wish to network with locals. They just need someone to facilitate that networking. And this is where we are trying to find some ways to do that, as well as to creating work-life connections for the students during the studies. But all in all, if the university or the higher education institute is not doing enough, or you feel like that, studies is a great stage in your life to create those connections, because your thesis or whatever project or task you have is a great excuse to contact anyone. I have this study project where I'm doing this and this, and I see that you are doing this at your work. Could I interview you for 15 minutes over a coffee session on Teams or whatever? So you have this great excuse to contact anyone in your industry. And since Finnish is hierarchically quite low, you can contact really anyone, from the higher management to wherever. So that is something you can easily do yourself. But again, I know that not everyone want to network or find it useful. So then you need to find other ways to go forward. But as a tip for networking for students.
I have seen I'm because things that I've learned during my podcast as well. I've tried to evolve myself as a host as well, and instead of honeycoating things, I try to focus on real problems and try to ask real questions from my whole or from my guests. I have seen people getting wasted, who are highly educated, who have not been able to find job in Finland, um, and they have tried literally everything, and so but kind of international, that certain cohort of people who are very talented is getting wasted. University might be providing good services, some universities, some might not be, but where is the problem? Is there a problem from the job market side, from the companies who are hesitant to hire? Because if universities are doing good, then this problem, and because if there is a harmony and well connection between companies and university, then this problem shouldn't exist. But this problem exists, and who to blame? Companies, or because companies are hesitant to hire? When you go to university, of course universities provide good career coaching services, but they are of no use when you can't get a job.
Yeah. Where's the problem? This is probably quite like a personal view that I know that a lot of people share, of course. But currently, I feel that the problem is in the, let's say, economical and political atmosphere here. That it is not easy for companies to even hire more people. The employment numbers in Finland currently, they are horrible. We are far behind many other European countries. So that's where one problem is. If it was easier for organizations to start growing again, to hire people, that's one thing. If it was easier for people to get any experiences, unemployed people doing small projects without that much of bureaucracy that there is now, without the danger of losing your unemployment benefits, that would help a lot. You would create networks, you would get some income, you would keep up with your skills, you would gain more skills, more experience, more everything. So the economical and political atmosphere is the problem. But that is not a good answer for a person who is struggling with their unemployment, because there's not much you can do about it.
Mm.
in a short term. In a longer term, of course, voting and whatever is like something you can do and you can affect the atmosphere. Um, but mm, as a as a unemployed job seeker who wants to do something now, I think there's like three lanes that you can take. And I'm sorry, now I'm going way past your question.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
uh, one of those lanes is enhancing your skills, learning new skills to make you um, yeah, to create better skills that are needed in the job you want, and that is often an easy solution. I want to work in here, so I need skills here. But that is just one, and often not the best even. I would start with thinking what I want, and I know this is also something for someone who is struggling to find a job. It is horrible to advise. Just learn more about yourself. Uh, but in a longer term, I think that helps. Not even very long term, but understand like it can also be very short, like fast, that it brings benefits. Because if you say that you have tried everything, you have applied to hundreds of positions or something, I think you are doing something wrong there. And learning about yourself, learning about what is important to you, what do you want to achieve in your career, um, how do you want your life to be, and how does your job and career affect your life, what is important to you in life, your values or whatever. um, Learning about that, understanding yourself better, helps you target your job applications better. And when you can explain, not only through skills, but through your values, through your motivation, through the sense of meaning that the job gives, you are in a much stronger position. Because if you care about the work that you are going to do, you probably use your skills better than in a job that you don't care about. So that's why it's important also to for the employer that you care about your job, that you share the values and you get the sense of meaning, because then you want to work better.
Mm.
So these are two: skills, learning about yourself, and third, learning about the industry, the world, including networking, um, learning about the organizations, in which kind of organization you can work in a way that is natural to you, comparing um, public and private sector, mm, young IT startups and old universities. In both, you can work as a accountant or marketing assistant or whatever, but the pace and the style of work is very different. So where is the natural place for you to work? What is your natural way of working? What is important to you? And where can you do that? And who are the people that can help you do that?
Okay, great, great. Yeah, please.
Yeah, no, go
Okay,
go ahead.
okay, okay. Yeah. Yes. And many. I have been in discussion with one of the guests. She has been working. She's a colleague, researcher as well, and she has worked a lot on. She has done a lot of research on migrant workers in Finland. So she was suggesting about, she told about a model that has been adapted by Sweden for language by learning by doing something. So the nurses who came from other countries in Sweden, they learn language for 6 months, then they start working, and along with working, they learn language as well, but they are getting paid. So they dedicate few hours of working every week to learning language, and that is a paid work, and also they start like integrating into work life. But what do you think, can this kind of model work in Finland as well? or is it somewhere applied from some private companies or as a prototype or something?
Mm, definitely, it could work. It sounds what I've heard of that model. It sounds like very good model. It is not only like if the if the society, if the country is um, teaching people to work in some industry, there should also be some um, like responsibility for that society to create jobs to ease out. It cannot be just like from 0 to 100, from black to white. Um, there should be ways to make it easier. And there is an example, actually a pilot project recently done here at Laura, um, where immigrant student was hired to a position um, through a project where the organization received help to determine the levels of language needed and to express that in the job ad. Mm, so not only to create a better job ad, but to teaching the staff to receive a person whose Finnish is not native level. Um, and as far as I know, that was very successful. They are continuing with those with what they learned from the pilot to keep hiring new people as well.
Okay, all right. Do you think Finland is still a dream place for immigrants who want to come, keeping in mind the job market and the struggling situations for now? Do you think market will revive in some years and for now, and how much time it will take to revive? And if someone is planning to come to Finland for higher studies and want to settle here for longer period of time, do you think Finland is still a dream place for them to come?
Depends on the dream.
Okay.
Uh, no, yeah, of course, the market situation will revive. If not, then something else will change. Um, People want to make societies work. People want to make countries work. Um, of course, however bad it might feel now, mm, I believe that of course it will get better. It cannot it cannot
Of
not
course.
get better.
Yeah.
Mm, and maybe as a student, thinking that you will graduate in 3 years if you start now, who knows? Maybe it is the best time to start now, or maybe it was the best time to start a year ago or 2 years ago. I I, I don't know when it will get better. So it is of course a gamble. Um, but yeah, it might be a good time for a student,
Mhm.
except maybe for the internships at the moment. Um, but it might be the best time now to learn a new profession or your first degree or whatever, because you might be um, exactly at the correct time graduating.
Mhm.
But it is a gamble. You might be too early, you might be too late.
Mhm.
So um, my suggestion for that is to concentrate on things that are important to you. Um, I meet too many students who have started studying um, some time ago on industries that needed workforce, let's say 2 years ago. And then you start studying, it takes you 3 years and you graduate, and the job market in that industry is completely different.
Mhm.
And you have a degree in a field that doesn't interest you and doesn't even have jobs. And that is to me that is a very sad story. So my suggestion is that you choose your degree based what is important to you, what feels interesting to you at the moment. It might change later, but if you don't know now what is your dream, what are the interesting things later on, you can start with something and then you can adjust along the way. But if you go too deep into something that doesn't interest you, you might be mm, too far. Well, no, I think still you can bring something from any studies to something else. There's always something you can bring. Um, but it's a fragile balance between reading the job market and reading yourself. And I would put more emphasis on what is important to you, uh, because that way you probably find a way to use it,
Mhm.
and at least you get to study something that is interesting to you.
Okay, great. One more thing, a speculation that is in immigrants circle these days is like few years back we were in that circle we were of the view that bigger say move to bigger city you will have more chances of getting a job. But now there has been more rumors that bigger cities are already very saturated. There are lots of people. Um, Job market is tough in bigger cities, but as compared to that, if you go to smaller cities, there's still more job openings, like more student jobs when student comes to support themselves, and also more after job opportunities. So is it true, or is it just a rumor, or how do you see that?
Um, I don't have any precise data to support my opinion on, but what I've heard and what I understand is that yeah, probably that's the case. Especially in the social sector, I've heard of the same happening,
Mm,
that maybe smaller cities are not that aren't that saturated. So
mm,
yeah, I think there is something to at least investigate how it is in your field, in your
mm.
industry. Um, Definitely, I see possibilities there.
Okay, all right. Any last words for people who are struggling to find a job in Finland and who are depressed and who don't know what to do? Any last key message that you want to give to them?
Um, yeah, two messages. Every time I say two messages, I forgot the second one while I said the first one. So let's see how how it happens. I will write the second one down.
Mm,
uh, Keep building towards your goal. Small steps. Don't expect any quick, big, fast, amazing results to happen, but keep building towards your goal. Is it skills that you need, network, uh, understanding of your industry, understanding of yourself? Keep building towards your goal. Your goal might be to figure out what is your goal. So keep working towards figuring out your goal if you don't have one yet. Small steps towards the goal, and don't expect quick results. And the second one that I wrote down is remember that life is not only career or work. Give yourself permission to rest. If you are unemployed, mm, give yourself permission to rest as well. Do the things that you cannot do when you are employed. Go for long bicycle rides on Tuesday mornings, or whatever it is that you like. Um, Active job search can be 2 hours per day, 3 hours per day, or something. If you do active job search for 40 hours a week, it's impossible. It is impossible. But if you give yourself, you put in the calendar that on Mondays from 9 to 12 in the morning, I will do job search. Maybe it's networking, maybe it's writing a cover letter or CV. But that is the time. The rest of the day, you're free to do whatever. 3 active hours per day is a lot of work towards towards finding a job, finding a career. So give yourself a permission for some free time as well.
Amazing, amazing. Very important message. And I think we got to learn a lot of new things from you today. And thank you, Isa. I don't know how to say it. How Asa? Is it Asa?
Esa.
Asa. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Asa, so much. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast. And if we have any further questions, if we get any more demands from the listeners to have a podcast on certain other specific topic, then we might invite you again. But I'm really thankful, and I'm sure all the discussion that we had today would be surely helpful for the people who are listening. And thank you, those who are watching. And take it step by step. It does not happen overnight. So also give time to you, time to yourself, as I said, and keep listening. And if you like the podcast, support us by sharing within your circle. Until then, bye bye. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.